Hey, what's good to all my aligned seekers? I am Kiya, your Soul Doula, transformational and transitional guide, reader, and healer, and I welcome you to True Sabbath Fellowship. These gatherings are sacred pauses in time, moments to realign with the natural order, to breathe, to study, and to remember. Each week, we return to our truth through reflection, metaphysics, ancestral veneration, energetic alchemy, and spiritual understanding. So settle into stillness, open your heart, and allow this message to meet you right where your spirit is. You know, there's something moving through the world right now, something we can all feel, whether we can name it or not. The air feels heavier, the noise feels louder, the energy feels unsettled. Even those of us who walk with spirit daily, who pray, who meditate, who cleanse and center, are feeling it in our bodies. That low hum of unease that doesn't quite go away. That uncertainty about what's coming next. And what's happening isn't just political or social or environmental, it's spiritual. What we're witnessing is the unraveling of false order, systems, beliefs, and timelines that were never in alignment with truth to begin with. They are crumbling. And as they fall, they reveal what was buried beneath the truth of who we are and the truth of what governs this universe. And for many, that's uncomfortable. Because when the false foundations begin to shake, the spirit is forced to remember. And remembering is not always peaceful at first. That's why I believe spirit has led us here to this moment, this teaching, and this space. Because we need to return to what was real before all of this became illusion. We need to remember the true Sabbath. We've been told to rest on Sunday, some say Saturday, but neither of those days belong to the Most High in the way we think they do. They belong to a calendar, a man made structure born from political and religious reform. The Gregorian calendar, the one the world now follows, was never divine. It was created to organize commerce, taxation, and religious observance according to empire. It served man's time, not God's rhythm. Before that, there was another way, a celestial way. The ancients followed the lunar calendar, not the solar. Time was measured by the light of the moon, not the ticking of a clock. Each new moon signaled the start of a new month, a new sacred cycle. And from that new moon, 7 days were counted. That seventh day was the Sabbath, not Saturday, not Sunday, but the seventh day following the new moon, the day that moved with the heavens, never bound to one fixed square on paper. This was divine order, because the moon does not belong to any one nation, any one religion, or any one doctrine. The moon belongs to the Creator, and she governs the waters, the tides, the flow of the earth, and we, being mostly water, are meant to move with her rhythm too. When we follow man's calendar, we fall out of rhythm with the natural order. We begin to feel disconnected, restless, and out of sync. But when we follow divine timing, lunar timing, we align the body, mind, and spirit with the very pulse of creation. That is why the Sabbath was given, not as a rule, but as a rhythm, a time to stop moving in man's time and start breathing in God's time, a time to return to stillness, reflection, and alignment. Somewhere along the way, This truth was buried. The Church of Rome standardized Sunday worship to align with the worship of the sun, and others in opposition claimed Saturday as the Sabbath simply because it was it was next to Sunday on the Gregorian calendar. But neither one returned to the moon. Neither returned to the original rhythm. And so humanity began to drift, measuring time by man's design instead of divine order. And with that drift came confusion, dis-ease, disconnection. Because when you remove yourself from natural law, you remove yourself from balance. You can pray every day. You can meditate, you can cleanse. But if you are not aligned with the natural flow of energy that governs this universe, something will always feel off. Because it's not just spiritual, it's metaphysical. We've been taught that the physical world dominates, that what we see, touch, and measure defines what is real. But that is the greatest illusion of this age. Matter cannot govern energy. It never has. It is energy that governs all things. The unseen governs the seen. The cause governs the effect. The spirit moves and matter follows. There's an old saying from Crowley: the coup is in the cobs and not the cobs in the coup. And though Crowley is often misunderstood, that line holds an ancient truth. It means that the source, the essence, the animating power, the coup, exists within the structure, not the other way around. Just as it's the energy within us that animates the body, not the body that gives life to the spirit. We are not physical beings trying to become spiritual. We are spiritual beings navigating the physical. And the sooner we remember that, the sooner we can we can begin to heal what's broken. Even in the Gospel of Thomas, the truth is spoken. Verse 29 says, if the flesh came into being because of the spirit, it is a wonder. But if the spirit came into being because of the body, it is a wonder of wonders. Yet I marvel at how this great wealth has made its home in this poverty. This is the miracle of existence. The spirit dwelling within flesh, not ruled by it. The true Sabbath honors divine order. This is the sacred pause that reminds us spirit first, form second. Look around. The world is spinning faster. Systems are collapsing. People are at odds, grasping at answers, clinging to illusions of safety and control. The collective is tired in body, mind, and soul. We are watching the collapse of man's timeline. And when human structures fall, it is natural to feel fear. But understand this: what looks like destruction is actually correction. Everything that was built on false timing, false hierarchy, false power must fall, because divine order is returning. And with it comes the awakening of those who can feel what others cannot name. Those of us who feel the tremors before they appear. Those who are called not to fight on the front lines, not to shout in the streets, but to hold vibration, to anchor energy, to sit in stillness and remind the collective that the Most High still moves. Everyone has a role. Some priest, some protest, some report, some heal, some teach, and some of us hold space between all of that, bridging heaven and earth through presence, through prayer, through understanding. That is our work. That is our calling. This is why I'm beginning these True Sabbath gatherings. Not to start another religion, not to preach from the pulpit of tradition, but to offer a space of restoration, a place where we can breathe, remember, and realign. These messages will be our weekly communion, our fellowship, our reminder that the Most High is not found only in temples or text, but in the rhythm of the cosmos, in the quiet between our thoughts, in the stillness of divine rest. Each week, we will explore truths that help us remember who we are and what we are made of. We will talk about metaphysics, the unseen laws that shape the scene. We will speak on ancestral veneration because honoring our bloodline is part of our healing, our timeline. We will speak on energetic alchemy, the art of transmuting density into light. We will speak on the cycles of the moon, the alignments of the planets, and the the whispers of nature. Because this is not about dogma. This is about alignment. It's about returning to divine order. Rest as resistance. Rest is not laziness. Rest is sacred technology. It is the act of stepping out of man's chaos and into God's cadence. When you rest in truth, you are not being still. You are being aligned. You are not doing nothing. You are doing the most powerful thing there is. You are remembering. The world would tell you that your worth is measured by productivity, but your spirit knows your worth was established long before you took your first breath. The Sabbath reminds us to stop, listen, and remember that we are not machines. We are divine vessels. And when we rest, we make space for revelation. We make space for divine downloads. We make space for our energy to realign with the cosmic current. This is the power of the true Sabbath. It is a rebellion against everything this system has taught us to be, and it is the invitation to become who you truly are. So yes, the world feels uncertain. Yes, people are uneasy. Yes, it seems like everything is crumbling. But remember this. What looks like the end is often the beginning of alignment. The true Sabbath is not just about taking one day off. It's about stepping back into divine rhythm. It's about remembering that the Creator's time cannot be colonized, cannot be rewritten, cannot be owned. We are stepping out of the world's time and back into cosmic time, back into truth, and back into divine order. So as you move through the week, feel the rhythm of the moon. Watch her phases. Mark your days not by numbers on a grid, but by the light above your head. When the new moon comes, let it be a reminder of renewal. Count your 7 days. And when that 7th day arrives, rest. Not just physically. Rest your thoughts. Rest your fears. Rest your need to control. Rest your energy in the knowing that all is unfolding as it should be. Because in truth, the Sabbath isn't just a day. It's a vibration, a consciousness, a remembrance that everything sacred begins with stillness. This is the true Sabbath. This is divine order. This is the way back home. If this message resonated with your spirit in any way, I invite you to stay connected. You can visit my link tree listed in all of my bios to download your list of the remaining True Sabbath days for the rest of 2025 and to explore more of my offerings. Leave your reflections and insight in the comments. I'd love to know what spoke to you the most deeply. And be sure to join me next week as we continue walking this path of remembrance together, right here at True Sabbath Fellowship. Until then, keep resting in truth, keep listening to your